Hello, welcome to another episode of Get Rich and Fit Tryin. So after a couple trials and errors, we finally got everything right. So now we're gonna go ahead and get right to it. I'll see you on the other side. Let's go. Hey, good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of Get Rich and Fit Tryin. So much to do, so much to cover. If you saw BYTTT, you already know CPI was a little spicy and it made a nice little effect inside of the market. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the screen. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. Let it know that I am dropping some gems here. All right, so what's the first thing that we see here? Well, we could start with the fact that today's action has put a nice little effect to the fact that if there was selling pressure, hey, selling pressure, we came to revisit you, right? So not nice little massive move. If there was any bears here, they are unhappy. They are absolutely unhappy. So I like what I'm seeing here. If you want to see the breakdown of my thesis on what I was anticipating, go ahead and check out my video BYTTT. I broke down everything to expect for this morning. So we're about to get started. Market is opening in 7 seconds. If you haven't been on this channel before, how we do things, we do the opening range breakouts. That's how we kind of like play our game and see what the market has for us. Let me go ahead and make sure I am logged into my portfolio. I don't think I am. Oh, I was back testing something here. Let me get rid of my replay. Hey, Javi, good morning. How are you today? Y'all for timeout? Freedom, freedom, freedom. Ready to make some money. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it.
What time is it, Daddy?
It's 9:30.
When do we have our next class?
10:30. What you said, Javi? Yep.
How come you always have your thing muted?
How much? Yeah, they did kind of cut down on the dividends more, but if you equate the price action with that, I just did a nice little exercise on that. Maybe when I'm done with this call, I'll do that exercise with you. I looked at my dividends to how much I paid and where it is and all that stuff, and I'm like up quite a good solid percentage because of my dollar cost average. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You say Cody smoking dope? Nah, I hear that. Yeah, and to be honest, I want to see what they do with this because you could see that they're really taking stabs at the CPI candle as much as they can and really is messing with some people here. So we're going to see if we can find ourselves a position. But for some reason, my account is saying I'm logged in somewhere else. And that's what happens when you have multiple screens. Oh, there you are. I knew I'd find you. There you are. Let's get rid of you. And let's get ourselves... Trading View. I really think you should automatically log folks out of their accounts at the same time when they close all of their accounts, because this makes no sense that I have to go find where my login is. Oh, there you are. You're over there. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is that we want to come for the fair value gap, but you see how that VWAP is sitting right there? I think that's what's pushing us now. Mm-hmm. Well, the VWAP is static, so it doesn't matter what time frame, but you could kind of see that level in itself. Yeah, they're trying to come back for that 15-minute fair value gap, and you could kind of see they're really pushing into it. Mm-hmm. It is.
Not the monkey. Not that one that has
I thought about the rebound, but I'm like, no, let's just wait for the opening range. Let's not do anything reckless. I did think that each one of these fair value gaps was areas of bounces all the way until we get to 678. I think they try to get to VWAP, and that's why we bouncing like this. So we'll see how the market responds to this. Oh yeah, that was your opening. That was the trade. If you were going to try to get into that, yeah, it's fine. There's going to be another position. Don't stress yourself. Mm-hmm. No, I'll tell you, there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. All right, so we got the first 5 minutes in. So this is what it looks like so far. Is we got ourselves our stranger danger somewhere around that 751, which makes a lot of sense. Struggling with that 800. It's another area that we've struggled with before. Hence the reason why we keep closing below the 800. But you can kind of see they're trying to grab that momentum to the upside and see if they could go ahead and recapture. So we'll see how the market responds to this. Nah, don't turn it off. Nah, don't you do it. Nah, I don't panic. Don't panic, because that's how the FOMO can kick in. So if you really feel like that FOMO's kicking in, then yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you
right.
got it
You
right.
might want to turn it off.
Sorry, I hit my head. Let me get it.
Oh man, really?
Daddy, I have a
Mm-hmm.
question. Why is his name
I don't. I want to play. Well, let me see. Maybe come back to Stranger Danger. Not yet. That's why I just want to wait for the opening range and just not do anything relatively reckless. So okay. Yeah, just a smidge, but no, I won't say scaredy cat because again, we're inside of that range. 5 minutes trying to put in a I won't say a fair value gap because it's not done yet. We got a minute 55 seconds. I don't like it because we didn't touch the VWAP, so I feel like I would love for it to kind of touch the VWAP before they did this. But this 5 minute fair value gap does make me want to take a shot at this. Of course, this thing's gonna do that right in the middle when I'm thinking about taking my trade. Let's go fix that problem. All right, bring it back. Here we are. Let's see. That would have been probably the play, just that fair value gap. But there's a lot to be answered here. A lot, because it looks like a 15-minute morning star. All right, readjust, but it's just in the very wrongest of wrong places. This is our 4 hour candle. So they took out sell side liquidity out of all of these candles, including what dropped us off over here. So I think a close above here is what they're looking for. Yeah, that's 53 points. That would have been a nice little scalp, but I was in scalping mode. Let me see if it would there have been a, yeah, that probably been a follow up position now. If anything, we got 27 seconds. I'm gonna go with a 1, 2, 3. Let's see, this 5 minutes already over. So I'm going to wait for a reset for our oscillator. Okay, that's $235 that you didn't have before. Where the guy's running away from the profits. Yeah, like try to be cute with it. Don't be cute with your profits. Yeah, man. I think yeah, that's why I'm waiting for a pullback so it can reset some oscillators here. I think this will be it, and then I'll probably do like a 1, 2, 3 to see if we can take out the 800. We came up and we tapped 7985. Is that the high? 799. 799, and then they return. So yeah, nice little reset of the oscillator. Maybe come back to like 775. I probably would want to buy it there. I probably would want to buy it at 760, but I wouldn't want to buy it here. But it can take off here as they're liquidating folks. So yeah, I think so too. This is a nice 50% retracement reversal. Let's see, did it get to the end? It got to 801. Yeah, exactly. So it tells us that there's a lot of sellers there, and it's making it tough for them. All right, we got about 3 minutes and 15 seconds to establish the opening range. So you don't have nothing planned today. You know, no running around. You're locked in. You're able to trade. Okay. It looks like they're not gonna let any of these oscillators reset. If we go to the 1 minute, if this 1 minute could calm down. Oh, there we go. I think this might be it. Are they gonna let it calm down? Because if it let it come down a little bit, it would give a nice discount to grab whatever sell side liquidity there. That's why I'm not too much of a fan of what's happening now. That's a good question. Oh, did I just put two volumes? I thought I only put one. I probably put two. Yep, I did put two. Okay. Because that thing came in a little dark. Uh, the volume's okay. The volume's not bad. The volume is not bad. Oh, volume bears divergence. Yeah, no bueno. No bueno. And look at that sweep. Yeah, yeah. That 1 minute volume is like it's coming. It's coming with vengeance. Hmm. I don't like counter trend trading. Okay, ooh, that's the level I was saying. If we come down to here, can it hold? Nope, no reverse. I'm looking for a reversal to happen around here. Let's see if we get that. Nope, it's falling through. Let's see about here. Oh yeah, we should have took that one down. I was trying to be smart about it because I was like, this can be tough. But when you said 805 was an area, yeah, I'm considering. I'm just waiting for this thing to kind of like reset because this thing is like the way that it's putting pressure here. It could continue down. Yeah, you see, this is flirting with continuing down. Let's see if it can at least rebounds. Get off the 1 minute. Let's see how this 5 minute is. No, no, this is it's tricky, but again, we're gonna risk $100 on the trade. Let me take one shot at this. Let's see how this works. Yeah, taking it up. See if that gives me something. All right, gonna put my. Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Don't you dare! All right, putting my stop loss into profit. Let's see if we can get some supporters. Nope. They just hit that thing right there. I'll take the $30. Ah, I wanted to wait a little longer, but you know what the problem is? The way this 1 minute came down, this thing can turn into a 1 minute bear flag. Look at the volume on this one, and look at the volume on this one. So I feel like that it could do almost anything here. That's why I don't like stranger danger plays. But patience, that's what we're looking for. 15 minutes done, so we already got an established. It's a doji. So we got a nice little order block. So we're dancing inside of an order block. That's how it kind of looks to me. What I'm also looking at is that I want a clean 5 minute close above this level. The buyers are trying to buy it back up again. Look at this. Look at this. Look what they're trying to do. They're trying to get those bears right out. It is a violent fist fight here. All right, so let's. Whenever I see stuff like this, I gotta ask myself some questions. Let's take a step back, right? Why are we reacting like this? Well, there's a lot of people that's probably seeing this level because we rejected from here before, so that's probably why there's so many sellers here. Because the buyers from here are probably part of the sellers here. Okay, so that's one aspect. So when I was doing BYTTT, I kind of took this as an order block in itself. So wouldn't the best play would have been a short right here coming down into this area and then probably attack this fair value gap? That's probably the best play. Assuming that this is going to be a tough rejection area over and over and over again. We're at yesterday's opening range now. That's the golden question. That's what we're trying to figure out. Okay, let's come back over to the 15 minute. I don't know. I think the first stab at this area, I might take a short. I think I might be part of the shorts. Assuming that we get under this VWAP, we finally touch the VWAP right there. All right, we're at that level. You see what I meant? That was the 1 minute bear flag. That's what I was afraid of, that was going to happen. All right, give me a solid entry. Give me somewhere where I can feel comfortable with this. 1 minute and 14 seconds. Let's see if they, because normally in positions like this, they buy the dip. We've been doing that all throughout July and June. August is usually that time where we're supposed to rebalance. I don't like an entry here yet. Yeah, that 1 minute bear flag was the entry for us to try to take that. I just was waiting for this 5 minute to go. So we might have to do break a retest. We're gonna get a break, wait for whatever pullback into the retest of the opening range. They are getting most of that fair value gap that I was gonna originally target, which is going to annoy me a little bit. But there's some others that I'm curious about, like this one here, like this one here, and this one here. So I think we could get some more momentum over there. 700 psychological level is going to be tough too. So we're going to get some chop here as well. I think I might be taking my first stab. Let me see the oscillators here. About to open up. Oh, I was waiting for candle close. You are a jerk. All right, that's the fair value gap and probably even 200 EMA. It's dangerous to take, but I'm gonna take a small shot at this. Dangerous to take this shot because the fair value gap is already completed. I'm risking $100 on this and seeing if I could get continuation, which of course it is going to pull back on. Let's see if we can get some continuation here. All right, they broke that. Buy side liquidity is getting swept. They're trying to buy the dip. They hit it. All right, so I lost my $30 plus another 150. It's all right. So we got a break. I wanted a better retest. Come on, go ahead, get up there. That way you can reset your oscillators because it looked like that's what y'all going to do. But I think we're going to be going more down to the downside. I think this is a bounce for the 200 EMA. That's what they're trying to get and try to build a position off of here. If we get a strong rejection, lots of volume came in on that last 15 minutes of the candle. The one time I don't do a straight take across, I usually like to take it as soon as it closed and come across, but it was such a tiny little bit of this fair value gap. I thought it needed the retest, and this market is on a move. That's the best way to say it. The volatility is very high, so those ranges can be very high too. That's why I'm trying to be crisp with my entry. Maybe too crisp. Are you on this downside, Javi? Did you find a spot? Uh-oh. Did I lose Javi? Oh, no, I'm not muted. Okay. Just making sure I didn't lose. All right. This is their attempt to push up. We're going to get another fill here. Oh, you took it up? Okay, good. 280. Nice. All right. Yeah, so I think this is going to be our retest. I'm going to try to short it right when I see reversal off of 710. It might give it early. That's what it's looking like right now. I think the safer trade would be at the 710. Oh, no, 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 you're good. Nah, I figured you was busy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so here comes our retest. That's solid. That's all you could ask for. $600 is not that bad. Mm-hmm. The whole CPA, fair value. Yeah. No, of course. But again, it's very volatile. So I'm looking for reversal here to continuation to the downside. We're getting a little bit of pressure to that. All right, I'm going to take this short right here. See if I can get this one right here. Now, the funny thing about it is that this was a nice push to the upside. So this thing can hit me for probably like 100 and some odd dollars. So my stop is going to be about 100. See if we can get this short. Looking for break retest. This is our retest. They're on that buy the dip still. Come on. We just retest the line. Mm-hmm. All right, they hit me for 150. We're going to go ahead and that's two in a row. I like to shift accounts when that happens because I don't like to blow my accounts. Not at all. Not that. Not at all. I cap how much they lose. Oh, good thing I cut it. See, looks like they could get in that sell side fair value gap right here. No, no, it's just one. Oh, 1 minute. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. 740. All right. I think I'm going to take another shot to the downside here. And I'm going to add to my position here. There we go. Let's see if we can go ahead and get some follow through here. There we go. That 390, 330, 410. I don't have another level. I would do something disrespectful down at this level here and probably sell 5 more, and that probably will be something epic on that downside. I got 750, 980, 960, 1000. Come on, hold your level, hold your level, hold your water, hold your water. Come on. Give me that last hit and get that buy side liquidity, that weak buy side liquidity. All right, that's a 200 EMA bounce. Come on, come on, break it, break it, break it, break it, break it. All right, I think I'd take the $1,000. That's the second time they keep on. It keep hitting 1,000, keeping 1,000, hitting 1,000, just keeps on hitting its head like that. You don't want to put yourself in a predicament where it costs you something more. So that's 1,000 in that account. Let's shift on to the next one. Let's see if we can get 1,000 on this one. I would love to short like freaking 10 contracts at 665. That's how I feel about this fair value gap that we're sitting on. And I would be aiming on here. Oh, you're a bad influence. In my ear, he's like, do it, do it. Oh man, you're a bad influence, Javi. You're a bad influence. I'm at level support for me to go ahead and do it, do it, do it. What I wanted to do is hold on to one runner, but it needed to at least hit my level, and I was gonna go ahead and wipe it. But it was, you see, there it goes. That's what I was looking for. And then here comes that little tiny, and mind you, it's a tiny little bit fair value gap right in between here at 655. So I was gonna short at 666 and then just take out that sell side liquidity. But again, all this chop that back and forth, especially for prop firm traders, that's the stuff that can get you into a lot of trouble. So I was already at 1,000. I didn't want to add to my drawdown with 1,000 against me. It's just take your money where you have it. You took 400. Ooh, let's go. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what happens when there's not a good amount of volume. Looks like my son wants to get my attention, even though I trade. Yes, Caleb.
Why is his name Javi if he has a J?
In Spanish, the J makes the H sound. Instead of Jesus, it's Jesus.
Jesus the hates too? And is he one of your viewers?
No.
Is he a subscriber?
Yes.
Because he's your friend.
Yes.
Yes,
Can I go back to trading? Am I allowed to?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. He said no. All right, so we got ourselves a massive, perfect break and retest. Listen, folks, I'm not saying I'm Nostradamus. I'm not saying I'm the greatest. Look, I took a L on one of my other prop firm accounts, my funded accounts, and it's down 300, almost 160, $200. The second account, just to kind of give myself that buffer, I went and took the trade for the second time. Could I have did it in options? I do have this downside as a question mark, even though this could go ahead and continue to the downside. So I will say, if you are still on this downside, you should be over $1,000 on your prop firm. If you did it in your options, you're probably around the ballpark of 40 to 50%, which is still good percentages. I would say just make sure you know what you're risking, because I'm not a fiduciary and I'm not a financial advisor. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just go on the screen and start trading some stuff that I like to see. All right, so that way you can understand you got to do your due diligence. Here comes my 800 EMA right here, Javi. We might get a bounce here. They filled the fair value gap, and there goes my original target. That's the 630. Now we are sitting at the overnight order blocks that we put in here. This was a nice reaction here, and it just drifted. This was a nice reaction here, and then drifted. And then here's our double bottom right here, where I think that this M-ish pattern is looking to get extended, but a good bounce can happen here, and then we could get ourselves even lower. It's just all predicated to how the market wants to react. Whew, that was a lot. 610 can be a problem. I won't be surprised that there's brand new bears around the 610 level. That can cause some problems. All right, just double checking all my alerts, making sure I have everything where I need it. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the share button. Let your friends and family knows what's going on. Oh, and for those that are like, wait a minute, he just said 1,000, and they didn't see nothing on the screen. And let's just do something fun for y'all. All you have to do is get a one hit sometimes, and that's what I'm trying to work on. It's very difficult to do this too. I'm not even gonna lie to you, where you could just take a one hit trade. And Javi, how you feel like taking just one trade the whole entire day, and then it just gives you what you're looking for? Like, how do you feel about something like that? Are you able to kind of pull that type of feat, or do you? He says too boring. It's just so exciting, right? Like, why do the boring things? Yeah. Yeah, and they get to sit there and just play the whole entire time. I'm one of those. Yeah, I love video games. It kills the time. It takes, especially sports. I love that. But that's is this your video game? Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Oh, so you're taking almost like the how the trades are. All right, what's the next challenge? Uh huh. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Kind of like where this low right here ends up, like you're like, okay, can I get another lower low each time? That's what you're saying. Oh yeah, let me get that out of it. Uh oh, my TW is it's failing its plan again. That's not a good thing. You're gonna have to get rid of that one for the performance. Mm-hmm. Oh, so now that you see this green one, now you're like, all right, here comes my next challenge. This. Uh huh. I see. Okay. I see what. So let me ask you this question, right? No, 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 no. That's fine. But you making me curious now. Let me ask you this question. Do you feel? Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah. Is there more soldiers on the other side of that EMA that's ready to smack it? Yeah. You know it's funny that you say like that with soldiers because Bucky used to be really 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 good with that. He'll turn around and be like, oh, did he go pick up new soldiers? Because now that it's weak, they know that the stronghold is somewhere around this area. So now they went to go pick up some friends at the 800 EMA because they picked up friends before. That's how he sees it. So yeah, I do agree with that. I do have that always in the back of my mind sometimes, especially you could kind of see with the MACD curling up right here. It's stochastic at a lower register. Maybe they did pick up some new friends here. Yeah, yeah, they were okay, but there were no Marines. Yeah, exactly. There weren't no Navy SEALs with some David Goggins in them. They're more like Major Payne. Mm-hmm. Exactly. But excuse me. But I got a question for you though. Do you feel, and that's up to you if you think this way, but do you feel because you look at it as such a video game aspect that you trigger certain endorphins in your head because you like when you win, it feels extra exciting, and then when you lose, it's like you have so much of depression. Give me some iced tea, please. Oh, go wash this cup, please. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the next challenge? Yeah. And that's my fear. To kind of give y'all a little background, right? I love trading. I've done trading for a long period of time, and to be honest, I don't care if I embarrass myself or whatever the case may be, because I've always kept everything 100 ever since I started trading, right? So I started going into my elite, and mind you, I've done elite, I've done apex, and all of them they're much smaller than that, but I've always been with elite, right? And I looked and I was like holy crap, because there's like a ticker of how many like or account number this and then the next one, right? And I was like, how many accounts did I go through? So from the time I started trading all the way down, I started looking at the number and I was like, damn, I went through that many accounts. Of course, some of them were in PAs because the PAs follow that same structure, and but most of them are evaluations. We do more evaluations. So this past week, I passed two PAs in the same. I was at two evals in the same week. So I'm at five PAs, which is the first time ever I've had five. Two of them are like on life support, so I'm not really proud of that. But three of them are just solid, right? So I'm trying to work at that stage to follow the rules so I can get myself paid. So I started thinking in my head, I'm like, damn, I'm at I think it was 386 or 389 accounts, right? And I started thinking, I was like, holy crap, that's a lot of effing accounts, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Most of those things are discounts, like $20 here, $10 here, $20 here, $10 here, or whatever the case may be, right? So let's just do the math, because I've been very curious in doing it, and I said I would do this one of these times, right? Thank you. So now, if we take, I don't have to calculate on the screen. I do know that. All right. So now we're talking about 386 at $10 an account, but normally they're like $20. That is $7,720. So now let's do the math. Not only was that $7,720 that was spent on just monthly evaluations, that's not counting the recurring charges, and that's not counting any of the activations for the PAs, right? So let's just say 1% is that. No, let's be more egregious on this. Let's say 10% were PAs, right? Activation is about $80. So 30 times 80, that's $2,400. Then let's take that all together. So that's 7,700, 2,400. So that's now $10,000 roughly, right? 10,100. So now $10,100 just on evaluations, PAs, and I've only, be completely and utterly transparent, one payout, right? Then I started thinking back on when I started trading. At that time, I had well over a few hundred, for a few $1,000s, right? Because I was trying to be so hard headed, I lost a very hefty tuition to the market trying to do trades. And y'all remember how my charts used to look like. It was astonishing. Like sometimes I go back and look at it because I save it, and I'm like, what was I thinking? 25 indicators. I had monthly lines, weekly lines, daily lines, everything, trying to map out the perfect trade out of NQ. I've always fell in love with NQ, QQQ. I've never deviated. Sprinkled in some SPX, but mostly NQ. So now I'm thinking in my head, so I started the futures journey probably 3.5 years ago, pushing 4, right? And now I'm thinking about the 1.5 years where I had more cash, because we're talking about pandemic, PPP, because I got a small business, and plus I got the EIDL, right? I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, wow, if I just started on PAs, because I just couldn't understand paper trading when I first started trading. And if y'all agree with this, by all means, comment in the chat, comment in the comments, or whatever the case may be. I couldn't sync my mindset to paper trading. And like you were saying earlier, I felt like a video game when I did paper trading. I needed those endorphins. I had to put real cash up. So I know I blew through like 45, 50% of my cash by then. Of course, I slowed that down, switched to futures, used the cash for something else, whatever case, and now we're here today. That number, just on PAs, not counting the recurrings, not counting the monthly fees, that's the activation and the amount of accounts to open it the first time. Because, of course, some people, they go in, and when I first started trading, I'm like, oh, it's this much money? Cool. I can just go ahead and just put it all in this one play, and I just take that whole entire trade. Now imagine that. I've done that a couple of times. There's some I held on to it for like a week and it price cycled over, whatever the case may be. I don't want to even count that, right? Think about that. I spent maybe 10,000. Let's just give it another 50% of that. Let's just say it's 15,000. I spent 15,000 on evaluations, accounts, and everything else. Not put that all together. Out of the multitudes of thousands that I was doing with my real cash, I should have did that with the prop firm, because now I'm more in tune that my swing trades are 10 times better than what it was before, because futures teaches proper price action. Now I don't even worry about the endorphins, so that's why I came back to you, Javi. I know I went in a long soliloquy, right? Those endorphins are feeling like elated and everything else. Do you feel like you can balance yourself on the losses, on the ones, on the wins? Do you feel like those wins are just astronomical and you want that next hit for that win again? Mm-hmm. The, almost like you invested so much time into it, you want to see what's reaped out of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, no, you made an extra $50 now. Good, good, good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And and that's the part that we got to rip apart, right? I don't know if you. Mm-hmm. It's controlling the emotions for him. And by then the account is already blown, because that and that's why hopium is such a dangerous drug, right? We're hoping that it's going to do what it is, and this, that, and third. That's why I was like, it because I feel like when you get that first hit of a successful trade, like this $1,000, I don't care. Like I'm like, all right, here we go, on to the next trade, right? Or on to the next account. Let me put 1,000 on the next account, right? And I want to get to that discipline because yesterday one of my gremlins came up, and that's why I'm kind of having this conversation right now. So after I shut down Get Rich or Fit Trying, I went back into my. I was like, okay, eventually something's got to break. There's no way it's going to consolidate like this. But there was zero volume. It was really choppy. It was really bad. And then what really hurt was when I walked away, went to go do something else. That's when it started really moving. And you already know how my history is. It feels like the market always moves when I'm not paying attention to it, right? And I'm like, oh my God. And I got hit with a nice little FOMO. A nice one where I was like, I was up like 600, then I gave the 600 back, and then I was up like 400, then I gave the 400 plus 200, so I was down 200, and then out of nowhere there was this massive candle. I don't know if you saw that, where it just wicked down, and I was like, oh, and because I had enough drawdown, I could weather it. It bounced back up, and I finished with negative 800. That was this account, right? And I'm like, damn, this is like crazy. Like, I just lost 1,000, and I'm like, okay, on to the next account. And I broke another rule. One of my rules is, in each account, if I miss 3 trades in a row, because I'm a scalper, if I miss 3 trades in a row, I need to just cut it. I need to always risk 100. Mm-hmm. $100 to $200. I'm trying my best to not exceed that. Of course, element comes in every so often. One of those trades on one of my accounts was $450, and I was just so upset with myself. And that's when I logged off of everything. I was like, I'm just not in tune, or the market has nothing for me. Something's not right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not objective driven anymore. Now it's I feel that this should do this, or I feel that this should not happen. Yeah, 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 exactly. And that's most of our counter. If you ever think about it, all our counter trend trades that goes wrong against us is usually like, oh, I feel like this is more than enough for them. Who are we to tell the market that whatever trend they're on, this is it, this is the end all be all. Like this reversal right here. This is a perfect reversal because it has been the end all be all. It happened here, it happened here, real shallow. But the second one that took off, and it took off for the whole entire CPI. So that's different than what we were doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, they are. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, that is a complicated question, but it is a great question, and I I don't know if I should give it to the YouTube folks, but you know what? Yeah, let's give it to the YouTube folks. That is, but that's mhm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pin bar, hammer, reversal doji, all of that. Mm-hmm. That's a textbook one. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, the 1 minute told you a lot. No, let's let's start. Well, let me do this, right? So the first thing is, yes, what is a good inch, or at least let me say the question. His question is, where should I be looking for me to play when I'm trading on the 1 minute? It's just any time frame that's higher. The higher the time frame, the bigger the move. Shout out to Bucky. That's just what it is. That's it. So if you're doing 5 minute, then that means you want to capture multiple 5 minutes. If you're saying you're trying to catch 25 minutes, which would equate to, was that 100 minutes, so that's almost 2 hours, then you should have been looking at the 2 hour candle, not the 5 minute. So let's just say you want to use one 5 minute for cushion and the second 5 minute for cherry, right? So maybe two 5 minute candles is what you're aiming for. But your 1 minute candle is just for sharper, more precise entries with as little drawdown as possible because you're a 5 minute move. That's why you hear me always fighting with myself. I gotta just wait for the 5 minutes to close because I trade a lot based on the 5 minute, a little bit more complex, but based on primarily on the 5 minute. And I struggle with that because I'm such a scalper. But so your first question was, what told me that this was going to happen? Is this not a, well, that's gonna be comfort, but this is a bullish divergence right here on the stochastic. Yeah, but finding an entry, you need signals, right? Put some thought to that. For me to find an entry, I need to have signals, right? So what signals do you need to have? You need something that tells me it is reversing. What would a thing that's saying it's reversing after a major downtrend would look like? It would have to be breaking rules for downtrends. What's a break of a rule of a downtrend? That means instead of it making lower lows and lower highs, where it was doing it all this time, it is now violating the rule where it can't make any more lower lows, and then it's starting to like round at the bottom, and then bang, it explodes. None of these are lower lows. So let's look at this candle. This candle right here, and let's just say I see bullets. And again, your rule to get in could be multiple reasons. Maybe it's MACD histogram divergences are better than stochastic divergences, or I would never do a MACD divergence on the histogram by itself because I need both the histogram and the oscillators to be in sync with each other. This is confusing. I don't know, but again, at the end of the day, the more confluences you have that are in sync, the better, right? So what I'm seeing here, this red candle, it's making higher highs and higher lows. So we kind of have what I deem as a micro channel, a micro trend, but it looks like this. And for my YouTube folks, they're gonna be scared like crap. Watch what happens when I do this. That's a 5 second chart. Isn't that a channel continuing? And if I hit play like this, it stays inside the channel until it breaks out of the channel and it's breaking out. Anyways, enough of that. I don't want to give y'all too much sauce. Too much sauce. Just that alone. So to answer your question, Javi, how do you enter? Well, the first question is, does it violate any rules? This one probably going to hit your stop loss if you kept it too close to that structure. But if you put it at complete structure, where the divergence is starting to pivot, if you mark out where like this area is an order block, this is an area is an order block, and you can see the reactions to it. So all you have to do is play levels to levels as you're going. Then you could feel comfortable with finally watch on the 5 minute, and then you follow the you follow the 5 minute rule that we talked about on how to trail on the 5 minute. You'll be still in the trade. But for you to trail, you got to have low leverage. Listen, folks, do not trail with high leverage. Well, let me take that back. I don't want to say high or low. Do not trail with leverage you have no control over, or you don't have emotional control over. Because what ends up happening, let's just say you have a contract, and I'm going to leave y'all with this last one, right? Let's just say you have a 10 contracts, right? And that's your highest level. That's the highest leverage that you can have. For futures, for us, 10 contracts is going to be $50 per tick, which is basically $200 per point. Every time the price moves up $1, it's $200. That's high leverage, right? So if you can't control that, or you can't handle that, or whatever the case may be, guess what? It's going to be hard to trail, because if it drops down 5 points, that's $1,000. That's a lot, right? So low leverage allows you to trail objectivity. That means you're going objectively, not objectivity, right? Because you're going to be focused on the objective. All right, you need to hit this, then I'll keep you. If you did this, then I won't. If it breaks this, then get it out. Like, these are, you got to give it steps, almost like instructions to get to a target, right? And you're giving your employee, all right, make sure you pick up this, make sure you pick up this. You're going to drop it off here. You're going to drop it off there. Boom, 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 boom. That's how you have to do it. If you don't do it with a pure plan, you're going to be like, I feel. And as soon as you say, I feel, then that means any one of those wicks, yeah, you're done. Though any one of those wicks that doesn't look like, oh, I'm a little scared, boom, close. And, oh, man, I should have kept it, because look where it went. It still kept on going higher. And then you're going to get the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And the entry for all FOMO is shoulda, coulda, wouldas. All FOMO is built on that. Oh, I should have. Oh, that should have been my entry. I should have kept it longer. I should have this. I could have did this. If I just did this, I would have held it long. Shoulda, coulda, wouldas are FOMO creators. If you start saying should, that means your plan's not strong enough, or you don't trust it enough. But when you start to trust your plan, you start to operate in your element of the plan. Damn, this is starting to sound so spiritual right now. And you start to follow your path that you're supposed to, because you already projected it, because you already did your homework. That's why when I was doing mindset, I was telling people, whatever your higher time frame is, you should equate at least 2 to 3 times that time frame of time of charting. So if you're on a 2-hour chart, at least put 8 hours into the chart to see all the levels. Look what it looks like. Know how it moves. So that way you don't feel like I'm just jumping into anything. Minimum 6 hours, maybe even for 8 hours. I'm a scalper. I could come into a chart and I analyze it for 45 minutes, and I'm like, if this happens, then I'll do this. If that doesn't happen, then I'll get out, and I'm done with my trade in 10 minutes. Y'all seen it? Y'all seen it here? But when you start to do that, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, you're just gonna drive yourself crazy, and that's the part that a lot of people gotta fix. Anyways, lots of sauce I just gave y'all on YouTube. Go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. I'm gonna go ahead and finish with Javi, and then we'll talk some more. Oh yeah, and it's 10:30. It's time for my kids' school. So later, y'all. Y'all have a great day. I know, right?